Yeah, good morning everyone. So I'm Nayan Ranjan. So I'm presenting paper on the labor migration in baking sector of Bihar, particularly focus on the education and the health status of the migrant children. Next. And this research project is funded by the aided action. So we identified the 6 source states in India from where the migrant families and children are migrating to different destination cities in India. So these 8 source states are the Chhattisgarh, MP, Odisha, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Bihar, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and the 6 destination cities are New Delhi, then there is a Patna, then there is a Bhubaneswar, Madhya Pradesh, Hyderabad, and Chennai. And every year, different studies suggest that every year around 34,000 migrant children move with their families to these destination areas. So labor migration. So labor migration in Bihar. So I'm particularly focusing on the socio-economic realities of the labor migration, migrant children, education and the health condition, and then identifying the policy and the implementation gap through the field survey and then stakeholder interviews. So labor migration in Bihar between sector is driven by the poverty, is there unemployment and seasonal distress. And families from the southern part of the Bihar, mostly from the Gaya, Nawada, Jahanabad district and the Jharkhand, they migrate every year in search of livelihood to Patna city. And more than 10,000 families from this area, they come to Patna because apart from the bricklaying work, they also get engaged in the other work like the sand mining, construction work during the rainy season. And this family come after the Chhat Puja and they live in the temporary dwellings in the bricklaying for the more than half a year, and they return back to their native village when the rainy season starts during the month of the July. So last week of the June and the first week of the July. The children coming with this family, they face the lack of the education, they don't have the proper health care facilities available at the site, and then also the malnutrition issue is there, and then the very high risk of the child labor. These migrant family, particularly in the district of the Patna, they will found in the outskirts area like the Maner, Phatua, Danapur of the Patna district. So we selected the Maner block Patna as the study sample because of the high concentration of the buildings. So around 61 buildings right now is operational in Maner block of the Patna district. And overall in Bihar, there are 6,500 buildings that is in the operation. So major concern related to the migrant children is they come with their family and they are, we can say that they are the silent victim of this migration process overall. These children live in a very unhealthy environment. They are exposed to the heat, dust, and there are many other issues in the bricklaying areas, work site. Then one of the major challenges is the discontinuation of the study. So they coming from their source area, coming to the destination. So both sides they are not getting the education at all, and then they also get engaged with their families in the household chores, and they try to generate the more income for their families because their families they treat them for the long time. So around the children in the age group of the 9 to 14 years, they get engaged as a child labor there. So methodology we used to do this survey in Maner block of the Patna either, we surveyed around 1,676 migrant families in the 61 Brickleys. Then we had the interview with the different stakeholders. So Brickley owners is there, then teachers, ICDS officers, government officials, then health workers, Anganwadi centers and block level education officials. And second, as a secondary source, so we went through the different government reports, media articles and academic studies. So now the coming to the survey findings related to the migrant families and the children. So total 1,676 families we identified there, in which there are 1,719 male and 1,669 female. And then boys is 1,862 and girls is 1,638. You can see the 3,500 total children living in the area of the, only in the radius of the 5 kilometer in the Maner block of the Patna, only in the 5 kilometer, 3,500 children. And they all are out of a school. And then there are the adolescent girls, 5, 6, 7. So we considering the adolescent girl age from the 9 to 18 years, and pregnant women is 46, and lactating mothers is 347. Age-wise, coming to the age-wise children data, so 0 to 6 is total 630, and then 3 to 6 is 943, and 6 to 14, 1,482 children are out of the school. And then 445 in the 14 to 18 years of age. Now coming to the social category and the source state, so around 1,227 family come from the SC category, and 232 from the ST category, and 201 from OBC, and 2 from the general category, and 14 from the minority community. And source state is the highest migration from the Bihar, so it's the intra-state migration. So 1,202 families coming from the Bihar, different district of the Bihar, and 252 coming from the Jharkhand, and 183 from Uttar Pradesh, because they from the Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh and the West Bengal, they are inviting these migrant laborers because they are highly skilled. So that's why they invite from these other districts. So 37 from the Madhya Pradesh and 2 from the West Bengal. So coming to the socio-economic profile, so majority of the workers are landless agriculture laborers, marginal farmers, and they belong to the SC, ST in the OBC category. And seasonal migration happened during the month of the November to June, and with the every daily wages they earning 200 to 350 depending on the their involvement in the work. So there are many families who they work for the 12 to 14 hours. Yeah. So the average family size, including the parents and the 2 to 3 with the family, the 2 to 3 children, and they live in the very poor shelters. We can see the photograph here. They live in this condition. They have the very limited water, electricity, and the healthcare facilities available with them. Labor recruitment is very informal process. They highly dependent on the middlemen ठेकेदार्स. They call it ठेकेदार here. So they offer them advance payment of the around 5,000 to 50,000 per family, and these advance payment get cleared during the final settlement. And there is no contract paper. There is no that the informal agreement is there, and there is again the cases of the delayed or the partial wage payment, and then they also deduct the for the food and accommodation, the unsafe working condition where they are living, and then they lack of the grievance redressal mechanism. There is no any system in place. So almost all children who are in the age group of the 3 to 6 years, they lack to early childhood care education, and the school going children. So some of the family told us they are enrolled in the source station, but it again need to be examined whether they are enrolled there or not, because for the 8 months they are living here, and now they are going back to their source station for 4 months. So this again need to understand. So they don't have the Aadhaar and the birth certificate. Then again, because of the some children coming from the different states, so there again is the issue of the language and the curriculum mismatch. And then the distance to a school, from the Bakeland to a school is on the the distance is much more, so the children can't travel to these schools. This is again the one issue. Children living in the very poor sanitary condition, then the malnutrition issue is there, and the high risk of the child labor. Pregnant women and adolescent girls, they are not able to access the benefits from the local Anganwadi center, and then again the pregnant women, so the child is again at the risk. Pregnant women, almost all women are not covered under the Pran Mantri Matri Bandhana Yojana. From there they can get the benefit of the 5,000, and then access to healthcare services is minimum, we can say the non-existent, and largely dependent on the private hospital for the treatment. And immunization process for the around 30% children, they are not receiving the only 30% children receiving the full immunization. That is also they are telling us the paper which they have left there. So now how can they complete the immunization here for in 8 months? This is again the question. And then the anemia is very high due to the poor diet and the lack of health education. So lack of the portability issue in receiving the entitlements, like the one nation, one ration that the government introduced. On that basis, they know any other social scheme has been developed, so that the children coming from the source to destination, again going back to source, they can receive their entitlements without any hindrance. Then there is again the poor interstate, the coordination, because the even other state means the source state don't know how many families are migrating to which state and how many children. Then absence of the tracking system for the migrant children is there. Then systematic neglect of the rights and the needs for the migrant workers and their children, because they are not registered under the BOCW. So because until the employers don't want, they don't get registered with the BOCW, and that's the reason they are not getting the benefits, different benefits. Then the no involvement of the PRI members, even the Panchayati Raj institution members, they don't know when they are migrating from their way. They only know, okay, these people go to the some other places for the earning purpose. They don't have much idea. So there are the NGO interventions. So they are providing the education support through the child care learning centers, then the health and nutrition services, and the community. They are engaging with the mothers and the community, and they're trying to empower them. But again, there is a challenge of the limited coverage, because these interventions are the very specific in the site specific, not statewide. Then they know much more the consistent the government support, and then also they are dependent on the government donor funding. So that is also again this to the program continuity and the scalability. So recommendation at the policy level is that we need to have the very centralized and the portable database to track the migrant families and the children across the state. Then the all bricklaying workers should be included under the building and other construction workers BOCW welfare scheme at the state level. Then Aadhaar and for the birth registration, they need to have a center, nearby centers, so that they can make their Aadhaar and the birth certificate. And then again they need to strengthen the interstate government coordination for this to work on this portability issue at the source and destination. And then again we need to train our Panchayati Raj institution members, and they need to arrange the pre-departure training for the migrant families that is needed at the both level, destination and the source. Then education focused Anganwadi need to be expanded to these areas, and covering the young children, adolescent girls and mothers. And then enrollment to these children in the age-specific classes at the destination, not only destination but also at the source there is needed. And then a school need to be developed the mechanism for the identification and the enrollment of these children. And then there are the children with the disability, so they are almost ignored. So they need to be enrolled in the school, and they need to link with the local Bunyad center for the therapy and the support. Coming to the health and nutrition, so they need to strengthen our ICDS system. Then pregnant and lactating mothers, we ensure they get covered under the Pran Mantri Matri Bandhana Yojana. And then there is again the role of the bakery owners. So they need to set up child care center there for the 3 to 6 children, and they need to facilitate the enrollment of the children in the in the government school. So what next? So we are planning to do the survey at the source station to understand the employability, education, and the health status of the migrant families and children. Yeah, thank you.
One thing, may I comment?
Yeah, please.
That you have done the real, really it's a real picture. And since I have taught so many years labor laws also, the unorganized sector in my university. So two things that I would like to add and suggest you that you must do that. You know that Interstate Migrant Workers Act, because you have said that UP people are also
Jharkhand, UP, Madhya
and some
Pradesh.
other states. So Interstate Migrant Workers Act, whether it is working or not. Secondly, the Unorganized Sector Social Security Act. NGOs are working, okay, but whether the government officials are adding anything with these two legislations. Social Security Act 2008 is there, as well as Interstate Migrant Workers Act 1979 is there. So whether these two legislations are also working there or not. So you have not done, since you are, perhaps you are not thinking about your law background, that's why you have left. But if you add these two aspects, then it will be a marvelous research work, and that is very
The
good.
primary data is there, so you can add all
You can add all these things also, because otherwise there will be no protection at all.
And
Whether inspector is going on there or not, what is happening. So these things also are required to be collected from the data questionnaire.
now, as far as that immunization is concerned, or say vaccination, so you've got lots of agencies which are active, UNICEF, WHO. So there also you can see that they might be having, or they must generate mobile vaccination units to conduct these things. In the case of polio, we have seen door-to-door movement. So such kind of
Another thing is
facilities
also
that can be done. Yeah.
intervening. Another thing is also sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment, that is another
That is
aspect.
the act already 2013.
It seems untouched by you
Exploitation
people.
of the women and the adolescents.
How was
That is
it?
also.
So many exploitations.
Yeah, how was the support from this brick? Yeah,
these
one
three
more thing
legislations should
to
be-
point out. It should be KILN and not KLIN. The one basic, very basic
Clean.
mistake.
KIL.
It is KILN, not KLIN. It's not clean. Kill.
industry.
Yeah, so how many such owners were actually willing to participate in your survey? Whether okay, because you are talking to the laborers there, and then you are also talking to them. So were they okay? They were there. They were supported there. No, when you went to the field, when you were talking to them, you are also there as a
Yes,
you are in the field. You have visited Maner area, so you know. So what about the owners? Were they supportive of this your survey? Support क्या उन्होंने?
No, they were supporting in the survey. They supported us during the survey.
पूछ लीजिए कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. So that is what they said.
You can ask them
हाँ,
what they told me.
Okay. Thank you.
मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ एक बार मैं अपने लेबर से मिला था गैस स्टेशन पर, चूँकि इंडियन रेलवे में तो मुझे थोड़ा सा उन लोगों के साथ इंटरेक्शन होता है.
कहाँ रखा होगा?
मैंने पूछा तुम कहाँ जा रहे
देख लूँगी.
30 या 35 किलोमीटर
सौरभ रखे हम.
तो त्रिपुर जा रहा तो त्रिपुर में क्या करते हो? तो वहाँ कांच का काम होता है.
एक कॉपी तो जरूरी होगा ना.
मैंने कहा कि बिहार के अंदर क्यों नहीं काम करते? तो उन्होंने कहा कि बिहार के अंदर काम नहीं.
अच्छा, इसके साथ एक है माइग्रेशन जब है हमारे यहाँ लेबर डिपार्टमेंट में सर, वेदर देयर इज रजिस्ट्रेशन, जैसे कि ठेकेदार के थ्रू आता है, तो है क्या कि इवन स्टेट लेवल पर भी लोग कहते हैं, जब हमने भी प्रेजेंट किया था एक बार, तो लोग कहते हैं इंटर स्टेट माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स पर, तो लोग कहते हैं कि यस वी हैव अ रजिस्ट्रेशन मैकेनिज्म. नहीं है, सच्चाई ये है. तो जो नियोजन कार्यालय है डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पर, वेदर देयर इज अ रजिस्ट्रेशन मैकेनिज्म दैट द पीपल आर माइग्रेटिंग फ्रॉम दिस विलेज टू सम अदर एरिया, ये नहीं है सर.
I often visit to that department.
Yeah. So it's a nice paper actually, since you have done a lot of primary data from those areas. I would like to know exactly that those data that you have collected, is it from the source or is it from destination cities? These are all from destinations, because you have highlighted 6 destination cities like They remember Calcutta, Delhi, Bhubaneswar, and
So I
Hyderabad.
mentioned it from the different.
So in those areas you have collected the data?
No, that is the next phase. That is the next phase.
Or you are going to conduct next?
Next phase.
Okay,
Next
so,
phase.
okay, this is one thing. Number two is that the data that you have showed us exactly it with the different age groups, right? 0 to 3, and then 3 to 6, 6 to 8, then 14 to 18, like that. My question is, you have collected data with these age groups respondents, from 0 to 18 age, under 18 age.
No, we interacted with the families, parents.
But you have showed us the data from 0
because
to
we
18.
collected the data from them. Na?
So they share the information about
they share the
their
information
children.
with us.
Okay.
कितने लड़के कितने लड़कियां, what is the age
But
and
these
other-
children are working. in
The
the
children
big-
are there.
No, are they working in the big industries?
They are the children who are working with their parents. In the
Okay,
beginning.
so they are also working. So are they allowed? That is what
Yeah.
I am asking
Yes.
question, because
Yeah.
there are absolutely no laws.
No, they are not lawfully they are not allowed.
And that is what
But
I'm
then
saying.
since they are there with the parents, they might be supporting the parents.
Exactly.
Yes,
But
दो
this is
चार
not-
इटा वो भी टो दिया.
So not-
Otherwise they are not allowed.
They are not actually allowed as per the law.
Yeah, yeah.
And next question is, are these forced migration or this is a seasonal migration? You have to see the determinants, the factors why they are migrating from one place to another place. Without showing the determinants, I don't think it will come up with a nice findings. So the determinants or the factors of migrating from one place to the source to their destination, what are the factors? So it's like basically on a forced migration basis, or the seasonal migration means going for 6 months then come back to the home. So these are, I hope you have already heard a lot of theories on migration, out migration, in migration, and post and all this migration. So factors are really very important. I didn't see any factors or determinants of this migration, like why these families are migrating from one place to another place. So these two things, I think either they are seasonal or maybe forced. So you must see these factors actually in the next round of surveys. That's my suggestion.
Just taking this point forward, almost 10 years ago in this very institute we were discussing about migration, because Bihar suffers a lot, and we are trying to conduct a study, twin kind of study, Kerala as well vis-a-vis Bihar. So one point that emerged at that during the discussion, we had a full day symposium here, that you need to improve the skill set. You also told that they hire laborers from MP and UP because they are more skilled. So we just try to understand, and if you can come up with a solution, because these guys from Bihar, and the majority of them are from this state, so the skill set can be improved. We were talking of a situation when we are having an ambulance driver. If there is a need of emergency, can he put up the oxygen mask? Can he do some medication or whatever treatment which he can give to the patient? Otherwise, kya yahan ka ambulance driver, he will just keep on driving. He will not take care of these things. For them, he will be asking for a nurse. But then, can we enhance the skill set so that they are more useful for the community they are serving? So those kinds of things you can actually explore, and how that skill set can be enhanced so that the owners, the brick kiln owners, they are not required to hire laborers from other states. So those things, and you can also see.
Rightly sir has pointed out why they are migrating, the determinant factors. I would like to add whether the government has a lot of scheme, poverty alleviation scheme, whether they are getting benefit or not. If they are getting benefit, and despite that they are migrating, there is
Would I say whether it's a seasonal or forced?
Seasonal.
It's a very, very
Seasonal
important.
Very,
Very important to see exactly.
a lot of government policies there. They are not in a position to avail that.
Okay. So thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take up the next presentation. Yeah, Dr. Pragya, are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, hello. We can hear you, Dr. Pragya.
Yeah, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you. So the next presentation shall be yours. So make your slide visible to us and yourself also. And we'll be giving you 10 minutes for the presentation. Thereafter, the questionnaires or suggestion session, whatever the feedback session will be there. So stick to 10 minutes timeline. If you have got slides, then accordingly just make it visible so that we can see it.
Yes, sir, sure.
Okay, start.
Just a minute.
Metaverse ecosystem in collaboration with constructive AI. Fine.
Yes, sir. Can I proceed?
Yeah, please.
Okay, good afternoon, good morning everyone. I am Pragya Dwivedi, from a research scholar from School of Business of Asar University, Warangal. Today here I am presenting my study which is titled Experiencing Metaversic Ecosystem in the Collaboration with Constructive AI. So here this study actually explores how the metaverse and generative AI are transforming industries and creative ecosystem. So we examine AI role in architecture, content generation and immersive virtual spaces. So here our focus is also on AI evolving creative intuitions, ethical consideration and its potential in building human-centric, interactive digital environments. So in the introduction, the metaverse, as we all know, it's a persistent immersive virtual environment which is supported by technologies like extended reality, artificial intelligence, blockchain, digital twins, and it is also growing. Its role included in the creating intelligent agents and generating content. So this study looks at how integrating these technologies shape the creativity, interaction, and education in digital spaces. So here I done a few literatures, the review of few literatures which identify some key metaversic enabling technologies which are highlighting AI role in content generation and intelligent interactions. And it also proposed metaverse AI with system capable of functioning across multiple platform and virtual worlds, managing avatars and procedural content dynamically.
Yes, Pragya, we are not able to see your slides moving. Have you?
Just
Yeah.
now is this okay, sir?
Yeah. 1/3, the first slide, the first literature view.
Is it the previous ones?
Okay.
These are the literatures which I have done so far regarding this work. That there are some identified key metaversing enabling technologies which are highlighting the role of AI through the extended reality, blockchain, and it is also vital for the generation and intelligence interactions. So under this, we have some showcased AI potential for collaborative creations in metaverse environment, which is using generative tools for 3D asset creation and some storytelling. And according to Wang et al., there we have, he addressed the technical changes which are embedding advanced AI models within the metaversic platform, and also suggesting some scalable, efficient architectures. So, as per this literature, that according to Park and Kim, he raised some ethical concerns about the AI autonomy in the metaverse spaces, which are discussing about the rights of the consumers, their accountability, and the governance features. And it also emphasized the metaverse transformative potential in education with AI-driven tutors and adapting learning simulations which are reshaping that how we can teach and learn. So, with the role of generative AI in digital spaces, it revolutionized the virtual environments by enabling real-time creation of immersive assets and personalized the experiences of the customers. And it also transformed that how users interact. They can make the digital spaces more intuitive and adaptive to individual preferences. So, and here in this thing that AI system now develop the creative intuition by learning from user feedback and producing aesthetic, meaningful, and some human-like designs where they can feel a real-time environment. And this also involves the mapping human cognitive patterns to shape the virtual anatomy and the spaces dynamically. So that but we are also facing some ethical consideration and some ethical problems related to algorithmic bias. AI and metaverse platform raises concerns, but algorithmic biases, ethical limitations, and AI-generated content ownership, it also needs some addressing. And proactive governance and ethical frameworks are essential to guide the responsible AI which are used in these environments. So, regarding this, there we also have some challenges and some future prospects are also there. So, technically speaking, that AI integration faces the challenges in regarding scalability, then latency, and the computing demands. So, socially, user rights, identify management and safety are concerns. So, looking ahead, AI promises to democratize the content creation and foster new creative paradigm. So AI transforming potential in virtual spaces, it enhances the creative process, personalized virtual experience, and allows users to design unique human-centric environment. And this transformation expands creative freedom and redefines digital space engagement. So under the future of human AI collaboration, again, it's a co-designing an AI as a creative partner. It co-design, co-create, and learning alongside humans. It paves the way for innovative art, educational tools, and new social experience within collaborative virtual ecosystem. So some for AI to thrive in the metaverse, scalable, distributed computing, and cross-platform AI models, optimization where optimizations are necessary. And this ensures seamless real-time interactions across various digital ecosystems and enhances user experiences. So under the conclusionary part, so in conclusion, the convergence of metaverse and AI redefines creative, social, and educational landscapes, where generative AI enhances the creativity and personalization through, though ethical challenges remain, and its transformative potential offers a promising future for human-centric virtual worlds. So this is under the part of my research. Here are some references which are the key. These are just the key academic sources which are supporting the my research and highlight the contribution of AI and the metaverse AI with their own terminologies. This is the part from my side.
Okay, thank you again. How will you differentiate between the constructive AI and generative AI?
So, constructive AI, if we can say that there are so many things that there we can modify the tools in the formation of AI things. And generative, it can be generated by self and maintaining its own adequacy with the human-centric model.
So it will evolve in itself. For this study, it's a kind of literature review which we have done, I think so. Till now, because any data which you have used, primary data, no.
So, again, will you please repeat again, sir?
The point is, the paper that you have presented right now, so
Yes,
have
sir.
you used any primary data? No.
No, sir. It's all secondary data, sir.
Secondary data. So it's a kind of literature review at best we can say. So again, you can make it more robust by using some primary data. If there is some all your papers are quite recent ones, so you might not be having lots of papers, but still on these topics nowadays there's plethora of work and lots of publications are going on constantly. So you can at least use a few of the research papers, more research papers, and the data generated from those research papers to make your study more robust. That is my suggestion. And
Yes.
accordingly, you can talk with your guide, whoever is guiding you there, and you can improve further. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Question?
Thank you, Dr. Pragya. It's an interesting paper. It's basically we're looking at the AI with this metaverse ecosystem. As I already has pointed out, this is basically a literature review type of thing that you have done with all recent papers. I just wanted to know exactly, do you really think that AI is going to substitute the human effort maybe in the next 5 years or 10 years down the line? So that's a simple question I'm asking. And do you really think that AI and the machine learning, that what we are really doing right now, we are crazy, all these researchers, do you really think that they are going to substitute? Because there are other things also which people are doing, like spatial econometric modeling and all the geospatial things, and also this mapping and all that. But again, with all these advancement, do you really think that the role of AI maybe in the coming 10 years or maybe 5 years
Sir.
down the line? And
Yeah.
of course, they've already said that it has to be substantiated by the ample primary data or field data, so that you can come up with some kind of findings. Because this is already in the early stage, so we do not want to give any comments on that. I think you have ample time to revisit all this literature and see exactly the role of AI and machine learning on this metaverse ecosystem. Thank you.
Sir, one thing that is haunting in my mind as well as in the mind of all the academicians, that whether this AI is creating intelligence or destroying intelligence, human intelligence. As nowadays we are looking that even the research papers are AI generated. Hypothesis has been created by AI, research questions by AI. What about the human minds? If there is a support of this like this, then whether we will be creative or it will be a destructive instrument.
So, in my point of view, if I honestly speaking, that AI is not a thing which can easily dominate the world of human thoughts. That because AI is also a thing which is created by human only. So, in my words, I can say that
of course, it has been created by human mind, but we are misusing how to check the lust of a human being, easy going. That yes, no need to draft a research paper synopsis, rather take the help of the AI.
yes, sir, there are many persons.
A lot of last year I had so many applications and we rejected. It was the AI. It was a question, but what can we do? How to check it? Is there any technique or any metaverse policy? How to check it? How to develop a creativity? Even thesis is written through with the help of AI.
Even Turnitin is also
Yeah,
doing this
very
similar to the AI
great
as well.
problem. So I think that what will happen to the human creativity?
Yeah.
This is my concern. That I think that you should discuss on in your paper. Thank
Yes, sir,
you.
as a scholar,
Sir.
as a scholar, but as an academician, this is a concern for all of us that people are using the AI in just a way that they just want to easy the things. They don't want to think a lot and they just want to ease of doing it. So, yes, this is a concern and this is a good point where we can put our research forward.
Thank you, Pragya. Nikhil Logov, our next presentation, Divya, and her topic is Sustainable Food Production Policies in India. Please.
I'm Divya. I'm a doctoral student at CIMP and I'm currently pursuing my coursework and moving forward to my thesis work. So here is a paper that I would like to present in front of you all. This is in basically in form of ideation stage, and I have reviewed literature and other government websites and resources, other resources, to find out more about the topic. For now, I have a vague plan of how I will move towards the data analysis and data collection and classification stage. Just move further with the slides. So, talking about the basic background of the topic, as the current market scenario is in a way that most of the manufacturers, either it be the farmers or the food processors, food manufacturers in the food industry, all of them want to just maximize their production and earn maximum profits. Earn maximum profits along with the restraint of minimizing their costs, so the profits can be maximized. But in the course of doing this, they often rely on the easy methods, which are relying on the chemical inputs in the food products. So often when they rely more on these food products, they have a negative impact in the long run on the human health and also on the flora and fauna and the whole biological chain that is currently surviving on the earth. So objective of this study is to look into the current food practices on local micro level and food policies in India on a larger macro level. The study aims to find out the gaps in implementation of national schemes and regulations in food production and manufacturing department. So talking about the use of fertilizers and pesticides, today chemical fertilizers has delved so much deep into the production industry, especially the farming, that most of the farmers are relying more and more on the fertilizers and pesticides, as the crops are much prone to devastation, and taking into consideration the diverse weather conditions of India, they are more prone to spoilage or wastage of the produce. That's why in order to just avoid the destruction of the crop and maximize the produce and saving them from pests and other plant eaters, they often rely on pesticides and fertilizers to maximize production. But in long run, these fertilizers and pesticides often have a negative impact on the soil health, on the water resource health, and also on the human health. Talking about the use of chemicals in form of preservatives and other chemicals like emulsifiers, caking agents, and similar, often are used extensively in the food industry, which tend to make the production process easier. Emulsifiers are ingredients that are used to blend two separate kind of solutions into one, that are not easily soluble, but emulsifiers makes the process easier and easy binding. Preservatives are used to increase the shelf life of the products, and thus similar kinds of other products are also used in the products to increase the shelf life, as the food industry and every manufacturer in the industry is focusing more on maximizing the market coverage that they currently have, the market coverage they have. And in order to do that, they need to have a larger shelf life of the product. That's why they rely on pesticides. But these preservatives not only have a positive impact on the shelf life, but a negative impact on the human health. In similar way, all the other food, these inputs have a negative impact on the human health. There comes a new term, which is called ultra-processed foods, which involves the use of a large number of inputs, industry inputs, basically chemicals, which are not generally used in home cooking, but only used in the industry processing, food processing. So we have a description of a few of these chemicals. Moving forward, we need to focus why organic methods. So as we all know, when earlier the food industry was not basically the industry, when there was no food industry but only the food market, and everyone was relying on the traditional methods of preserving the food and traditional way of preparing them. There were no chemicals, and then we were all having a more nutritious form of food, which makes us more healthy and stronger, because food is basically used as a nutrient. But nowadays, when we are relying on these chemicals, it is not only depleting the nutrient availability of the food, but also affecting the health in negative terms, making us all prone to immune disorders and weakening our immune system. Thus, we need to focus back on the traditional way of producing the food and organic methods of farming. Although organic farming is the shift from organic farming to the newer channel of farming, which was with the green and white revolution, was to cope up with the increasing food requirement of the increasing population of India. But this shift from organic farming was a cost, was also due to the negative sides of the organic farming, that it is not able to cope up with the market size, and the prone to the destruction caused by various other factors. But despite these negative sides of organic farming, the benefits are more important and awarding and more sustainable when taken into consideration in the long term to human survival.
2 more minutes to conclude.
Yes. Looking forward to the policies so far, there are various policies like NMSA, PKVY and MOVCED NER, which are been formulated by the government to promote the organic methods of farming and promote the farmers and help them sustain in the market. But there lies a question on what are the challenges and gaps in implementing these policies and schemes. There are various areas and population groups which are still out of the coverage of these schemes, and there lies the hurdles in implementation of these. Also when we talk about the climate impacts on the agricultural produce, due to the climate destruction on the crops, people also want to rely on the chemical methods and modern methods due to, as they want to be assured of their produce and don't want to get into the risk of organic farming. That's why farmers, despite the availability of these schemes, farmers want to just stick to the current methods which are more into the prevalence in the market, and that there we need to find out why these schemes are difficult to get implemented in the industry. Thus, we need to looking towards the methodology of this study. We need to rely on two methods of the study. First looking into the farming sector. We need to rely on the primary data, because talking to the farmers is much more important to know what the basic scenario of the field is into the farming industry, and there we can rely on the survey method. And looking towards the secondary sector, there's looking towards the food processing industry, the secondary source of data is more important, as that can provide a better view of the industry. Thus, concluding the paper, as there is a need of shift in the food production industry from the traditional methods, from the modern methods to the traditional methods. We need to find out why there exist the gaps in the implementation of the already running schemes, and how they can be better implemented, and how we can move towards a better sustainable food production policy. So I would like to have some inputs from your side to get into this study and move further towards this.
From my side, okay. I thought you were continuing. So it's a very nice topic actually. Since you are looking at a lot of things actually, you have said the climate resilience, organic farming, and all that. of course, you have to create a market for organic products. This is basically the need of the hour. I have been part of the government of Odisha climate budget in 2022 with IIT Madras. So we have been doing all that, basically looking at the long-term adaptation measures for the farmers living in extreme weather, kind of scenario like in a drought and flood zone. So when you are doing this survey, you must take samples from extreme weather point of view, like one from flood, maybe one from drought, and then see exactly how they are doing. So when you are looking at these short-term duration crops, like flood resilient crops or drought resilient crops, then of course some of the things we have suggested to the government of Odisha is basically seed preservation. So that is also another thing, and of course switching to agroforestry, millet mission also another thing we have suggested, and we got the Scotch Award in Odisha government, and I hope you have already heard about that. Odisha Millet Mission also has a part of that. So these are the certain examples where you can see exactly what are these crops which can give you the sustainable food policies. Of course, the organic farming is one thing, and of course the second one is the climate resilience crops to be produced or cultivated by the farmers. And then number 3 is basically looking at the high value crops for the traditional crops. So if you see the high value crops, the market is there, but again high value crops are susceptible to weather problems because in India we are very much depend on the monsoon weather. So if there is some problem in some year, then definitely the crops is going to affect it. There are examples are like in Vidarbha, Marathwada, Anandpur district, and of course in the western part of Odisha, if you see, there are frequent disaster every year. Odisha is actually disaster capital we call, and of course the West Bengal also. So the most of these districts are affected due to this disaster, because every year you see there is a cyclone or flood or something like that. So we have done a paper in Current Science Journal on Building Resilience, recently published. There also we argued with the state-wise analysis in India, saying that how the farmers can do this kind of resilient cropping. So organic farming you can think about, and of course the resilience, kind of farming with the high value crops versus traditional crops. Those things you can take and kind of develop a questionnaire and then ask these farmers. And of course while doing this classification, you must think about the NSSO classification of farmers, looking at the small, marginal, medium and large farmers. And of course the social status, that is also very important thing, because we are also looking at the vulnerabilities. Right, and of course if you want to add also, you can add the risk perspective, because the risk in the flood is not same as the risk in the drought. So those things I hope you can add. And of course the adaptation versus coping, because short term versus long term measures. So those things if you can add, it can be a nice thesis.
Lots of dimensions.
Since you are said, then
Yes.
Thank you. You have raised
I have another panel discussion. So
very good points. But one thing, as you said
Just
about
control within a
the
minute.
traditional farming that you had pointed out, of course there was traditional farming, but later on you see that green revolution. When it started green revolution with high yield variety of seeds, and the high yield variety of seeds require fertilizers, pesticides as well as water resources also. And you see that Punjab and Haryana got excellence in this area because they had water resources, and cultivation is high and production is also high. You know that when there has been introduction of a high yield variety of seeds all over the country, gradually we lost traditional seeds. And this is a great problem, that even if we want to return toward the traditional variety of seeds and traditional cultivation farming along for the organized organic cultivation, you see that it is a difficult one.
Yes.
First, we are lacking traditional variety of seed, because the high variety of seed, HYB, cannot have a good yield with organic fertilizers. This is a tested one. So, and more so, we have 150 crores around population. Earlier we were importing grain from the developed countries. Now we are exporting. So this is a chaos. This is an issue, that we move toward the organic cultivation, organic farming, or we should move toward this. So this data you should introduce also, include also a discussion that yes, of course, organic food we require, otherwise we will be unhealthy. We are unhealthy. We have a life threat. What should be the mechanism? Can we go beyond that? Can we move toward the traditional variety of seeds? Where is those seeds? Lacking. No seeds at all. Now there is no seed sovereignty. I have written one article in 2014 on this issue, that we have no seed sovereignty. If today, Monsanto company and other agriculture companies which are supplying seed here in India, that we will become a beggar. This is another threat. So the agriculture universities of this country are producing seeds not more than 25%. This is the data. You can find it on the Google also. And 75% seed is being supplied by the foreign companies. Where we have no seed sovereignty. So in this challenging situation, whether moving toward the traditional farming as organic farming as it was earlier is possible, you must discuss in your paper. Thank you.
Sir, I have found a
Recently,
paper.
sir, example was recently Sri Lanka was facing Sri Lanka was facing lots of turmoil.
Okay, so with this we come to conclusion of this session. Yeah, thank you, Professor Senapati, for being here, and all the participants.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, on various topics we had this today's session. Now we'll have to move to another one. We are already delayed, so we'll move to that. Thank you all.